What's up, everyone? This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take any financial or any advice from me for that matter. Just want to jump in real quick. Obviously, woke up, bought my one AMC share today, jumped into some other plays. But one thing I wanted to talk about is I see a lot of people, on my Facebook or other platforms that will ask, like, I'm down, I'm always down, all I do is hold. So a rule of thumb that I've got, so a lot of people are looking, AMC is excluded from this, what I'm about to say. Let me point that out. But if you're trading and just trying to make some money, one thing you really should consider, and it's not what you have to do, but you got to have some sort of strategy, what you're doing. So when you come into the market, your first year, 2, 3 years, generally you're not going to just be like some random market guru. A lot of people on YouTube are talking about this and that, how they would do good, but they don't show you their losses. There might be a day where, like I was talking about those coins, like, oh, I made X amount on the coins this last couple days, but I didn't, tell you about the coins that are still, I'm still holding on to, or that I took a loss on a year ago, or whatever, you know what I mean? So yes, there's good and there's bad, but in the beginning it's not a lot of good, just because you're still learning. But one thing I wish I would have known in the beginning that I utilize now is selling your shares at a percent instead of an amount, if that makes sense. So, like, a lot of times it's like, oh, I need to make, so let's just say you put $100 in a share, right, in a stock, and you want to make only 10% of what you put in. Simplify it. So you put $100 in, a couple days later you're up to, you're up your 10%, so it's $10.50 or whatever you're up, and you're like, oh, that's not enough, I'm gonna hold it. And then it goes down to 9, then 8, then 7, then back up to 12, and you're just kind of bouncing around that area. Unless it's a long-term hold, then it's different. Then you're just gonna put your money in and look away. But learn how to sell on percentages instead of amounts. So you could have cashed out, got your $10, and yeah, you only put $100 in, but that's how you're, like, stacking your earnings. And then later, instead of putting 100 in down the road, maybe you're putting 200 in and you're taking 10%. And then later down the road, you work your way up to where you're putting $1,000 in, and then you're that $1,000, 10% of that is now a bigger percentage. You know what I mean? So a win is a win, and if you're trying to make money, that's a way to make money. Now, are you going to become a millionaire that way right away? No, but it is possible. Also, definitely learn how to chart. Charting is pretty key, and it's pretty simple. It's not, you don't have to be an expert at reading charts, but you got to have some sort of basic knowledge of it. A lot of people come into the market and just kind of copy what other people are doing, or just go off of what people say to do. So, like, I could come in and in the beginning and just say, oh, well, I saw these guys doing this play and I heard about this one, so I'm going to jump into that. And yes, I'm a little guilty of still doing some of that without really reading the chart. You just get excited and, oh, I heard about that, boom, boom. But you have to kind of look at the chart, the 1 minute, see if it's in a downtrend, or I'll make another video on how to kind of go through that, maybe. I'm not saying I'm an expert reading charts, but I think it's easy enough that anyone could get it. It's going to take a while. You're not going to just immediately know how to read a chart after, a day or two. It takes time. This thing is trial and error. It's going to take you time and effort. It's going to take, you got to look at it this way. The amount you put in that you lose into the stock market, eventually you're not going to lose. You're going to commit to learning. You have to commit to learning. You have to commit to becoming better and learning more and more as you go. You got to look at it like this. Like, it's almost like a college tuition. You know what I mean? You're going to have to pay your dues. There's no one that comes in the market and just wins and wins and wins and wins. You might get lucky for a little while, but you have to have some knowledge on this stuff. So I'll come back with another video kind of showing how, you know, the basics of reading a chart. Maybe that can help out. I just want to help people out, you know what I mean? I'm definitely not an expert at it, but you know, so a couple of key things to take away from this video: selling at a percentage instead of holding everything to the moon, minus AMC. That's my wild card. There's a couple you can hold like that, or your long-term holds. Don't do that to your long-term holds. If you got a you know, something you're trying to hold for years, then then you just, you know, if you have faith in that company and it's a long-term hold, it's a blue chip stock for you, then this is a little different. But something that you just want to pull some profits and make some money to feel good, even if you're only pulling, you know, $100 a month, it's something coming in, you know. And there's times where I only do pull like $100 a month, you know what I mean? So you've got to discipline yourself to say, okay, look, whatever percentage I've decided to pull out on, that's what I'm going to do. You know, and sometimes you might pull out, let's say you decide you're going to do a 20%, you pull out at 20% and the stock the next day goes up like 100%. It sucks, but that's where the chart reading comes in, and you just kind of got to be disciplined. You can't beat yourself up over it. Once you pull something out and you make a win, a dub out of it, just don't look back. You know what I mean? You can jump back in at the right time, but charting, percentages, and discipline, really, man. So hopefully this helps you out. I'll come back with another video kind of showing some of the basics. Have a good day. Be blessed, and let's get rich soon. Peace.